Hi, everybody. Welcome on in. Hello, V's. Hello, Moon. Hello, Clara. Hello, Scotty. Hello, Robert's Kitch. Welcome on in. Let me know if the music is loud. Let me know. Unfortunately, watching a rare Ollie stream, but will be lurking and will drop by later. No worries at all, Silver. I know how rare Ollie's streams are, so don't feel badly at all. Yeah, welcome on in, everybody. It's Thursday. So we're closer to the weekend. I was about to say we're almost at the weekend, and I was like, but there's still at least 24 hours left. Like, we still have Friday to get through, so so yeah, words. You can tell what kind of stream it's gonna be already. Hey, Dragon! I'm glad you could make it for a few. And I hope whatever the stuff that you have on today goes well. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hello. Trick or treat. Exactly. We're gonna get into the trick or treat houses, and I'm really excited to show you guys how these work. And also to show you probably a little bit more. Like, I zoomed through it in my video, but there's so much that the video doesn't necessarily capture. It's cool. Not to boast or anything, but it's been the weekend since Tuesday evening for you. I mean, don't worry about boasting, V's. I'm glad that you've had some time, some time for a bit of a rest and a weekend. That's pretty great. Yeah, I have done relatively little since Tuesday. I had 2 doctor's appointments yesterday. And the nice thing in Scotland is that they're doing them by phone. Hang on. I'm talking and trying to move my tea at the same time. And a coaster. I have coasters with ducks on them. Well, I have a coaster with a duck on it, and then I have another one with hedgehogs. I wish I could claim that I was the genius who found these coasters, but no, my husband gets that prize. So yeah, I was trying to move like my very full mug of tea plus a coaster at the same time while also trying to look relatively near the camera and talk. It just not conducive. Yeah, so I had two doctor's appointments yesterday, and the nice thing in Scotland is that they tend to do them over the phone first, or like a video call, rather than have you go anywhere, which is really helpful for people who are chronically ill and who struggle to get transportation. From where I live, the main form of transport I can get is like a taxi, and there are so few taxis in the city now because of everything that's been going on in the world and the cost of everything rising and everything. So yeah, but those went fine. They were also the only thing I did yesterday, aside from a little bits and bobs here and there. So yeah, I haven't made progress in any of the service. In Archaeo SMP, I actually haven't moved since we filmed the trick-or-treating bit. I'm not in the trick-or-treating village. I went to spawn and slept in one of the inns, and that's the extent of it. That's all I've done. In part because I was like, well, if I go back to my base, then I have to come back to show the trick-or-treat houses, and, you know, there's just a certain part of me that is lazy enough that that the thought of that was enough for me to be like, yeah, I don't have anything terribly pressing. Although I was spending some time in a creative world this morning trying to figure out elevators, because you can make elevators, not like bubble elevators, like redstone elevators. You can make redstone elevators in Minecraft, and that I understand and I can do. But I'm trying to get the what am I saying? I have a design in mind that I want to be the elevator, and it's not like a square elevator, kind of like, it's more complicated than that. So I spent the morning trying to figure it out, and I'm like 70% there, but not quite. I haven't seen the Blaze Farm yet, you guys. No, actually, maybe what we'll do is we'll tour some of the stuff, like the Blaze Farm and such. We'll go find the Blaze Farm. Hey, Lazagod, good morning. And the gift in my mailbox, I did find some emerald ore in my mailbox, which is fantastic, and I'm remembering that you asked if that was enough like a week ago, and it is enough. I just forgot to reply. This is what my brain does. It just, I also realized like halfway through this morning that yesterday my husband sent me a message saying, hey, could you turn on the dehumidifier? He had turned it off the night before, and like if I could just turn it on, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then I promptly forgot all about it until about 20 minutes ago. So, and this was something he sent me yesterday morning. So yeah, this is what my brain has been doing. But yeah, yes, I did find it, and it's excellent, and it's in my inventory. Here, let me hop into Archaeo SMP and then bring you guys over. It's probably going to be super dark. Let's go over here. Hey, okay, so I'm in one of the inns, but I do have, oh, I must have put it back. See, I'm still in my Halloween costume. I still have my trident. Hang on, wait a minute. There we go. I'm a drowned. I'm quite proud of it. I also have a piece of copper so that I can continue being if I'm not lucky enough to be a trident drowned, I can be a copper drowned. I don't have a nautilus shell. I think I might actually have one at my base, but I forgot about it. So so I'm not one of the drowned that is lucky enough to be carrying a nautilus shell. But yeah, this costume is literally a drowned head and then leather pants and tunic. The pants I dyed. Ooh, which one did I do which? I think the pants I just dyed like a cyan color, maybe. And then the shirt, I think, was cyan and then light blue. Because the shirt didn't show up in the replay mod footage until I took damage, and then it turned up. So I feel like that must be the one that was a little bit weird. If I need any books for my trident, ooh, yes, that's true. I had to get a loyalty librarian the other day for yours. Yeah, I need to. I need to decide if I want to use it for Riptide or for channeling, and I feel like I should be brave and have it be channeling and try to get like skeleton heads and things, but at the same time, I don't. Charged creepers scare me, especially because they can ruin a build so easily, and I just don't want to. So yeah, but I did get the Emerald Ore Dragon. I must have put it back in my temporarily, or may have even. It's at my base. I promise you, it's at my base. Oh, it would help if I go through the door first. Hey, Orc Boy, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I just, as you can tell from me opening the door and then failing to go through it before closing it again, it's one of those days. It's been one of those days. But yeah, so let's look at the trick-or-treat island first, and then I'll show you guys the spawn area, because some people were asking about spawn. I think Harald was, and some other people maybe. And there are quite a few people who are relatively new to the series who haven't seen Spawn before. So we'll do Spawn in a second, but right now, do I need anything? No. These are the goodies I got from the trick-or-treat houses. I got a goat horn. I'm excited. So yeah, I'm happy about the goat horn. I did so intentionally, and I don't know, some of you who have been, oh, well, I mean, that's unfortunate, but I'm glad the zombie is not in the town, so that's helpful. Now I'm paranoid that there's a creeper somewhere. Yeah, okay, alright. I don't think there's a creeper, and if there is, we'll fix it. It'll be fine. So with the houses, I filled them with creative, like as a server admin rather than as myself, because I was like, I feel like I shouldn't be the one filling all of these with like diamonds and emeralds and such. So I used creative, and it's totally random what you get. One of the houses is a more health conscious house and only gives you healthy things to eat. And then a couple of the houses are, like, I don't know if any of you guys ever had houses that gave out, like, full-size candy bars or, like, you know, had more elaborate prizes, basically. There are a couple of houses like that in here, too. So this is no game sounds for some reason. Oh, that might be because I muted it when we were doing medieval Minecraft, because I had to create a different instance. Oh! Thank you. Yes, everybody stretch. I know some of you have probably only been sitting here for a few minutes, but even if you have, stretching feels nice, so so do it. I love stretching my arms against this wall. There's a wall right here, and I like leaning against it because it just feels nice. But anyway, here, if I go, oh, hang on, let me get back into into Minecraft. If I go over here, can you hear the fire now? It's telling me you should be able to hear the fire now. So let me know, let me know if you can't hear the fire. I'll stand right on top of it. You can hear it. Excellent. I was like, wow, that delay is a little bit longer than I thought it was. It's quiet. Yeah, a lot of the game sounds are quiet in part because I don't necessarily want them drowning everything out. But yeah, sounds are there. Okay, cool. Excellent. Let me know if it's too quiet for the game sounds. But partly it's to reduce the extent to which there's a lot of mooing in your ears as we go through the oh yeah, so you didn't get the I got that one. It's exciting. I think it's called, what is it called? Ponder. Yeah. I think Ponder is one of, I like it because it's not one of the like raid noises or one of the kind of weirder ones. I feel like it's a good horn noise. I like it. I'm happy. And I didn't have to go and find some goats and get them to ram their heads against a wall to get one. So that's good. But yeah, so let me do a quick like walk around this area. Let me eat first before before I worry any of you. But yeah, so this is the trick-or-treat area. There are 12 houses. And then there's also this little cemetery with a spooky little ghost and a skeleton. And all of the things that you see, the candles and the cobwebs, and then like all the armor stand stuff, Clara and Dragon did those. I didn't have the resources or the time. I was building all of the structures and doing the plants and everything. And then I had spent about like 9 or 10 hours building this, and I semi-collapsed. And the two of them came in and were like, "Let's add some more stuff." And I was like, "Excellent." So yeah, so that's credit where it's due, because my goodness, are these cool. And then there's this little cemetery area with some bones on the ground and a lot of fire and cobwebs. But my favorite thing is this guy back here. Coming out of the ground, which I sort of tried to work into the video. I don't know how well it worked, but I did my best. And then it's not getting dark, is it? No. Okay. I'm paranoid. is what I was about to say is what I'm learning. I was like, I'm not learning that. I knew that about myself. So these are the houses. There's a little road over here, and then it also goes up here, although I tend to go the opposite way, but there's some houses over here, and then there's like yeah, there are a couple houses in this area, and then there's like a big house here, and there's apparently a skeleton somewhere. Hopefully not inside the house, but oh well if it is. And then also there's the other thing is there are these player heads everywhere, right? And that's Clara and Dragon as well. They put these things in the windows and like up in areas where you might not see them. So like there's a little half ghost up there, and then there's several more. And I don't remember exactly where all of them are. I know that some of them are up where you wouldn't necessarily look for something. I don't think there's one in this one. No. Because they're generally like where you can see them from the path. Are there any up here? No. They did also, Clara and Dragon got ambushed by some pillagers, so they added that as well. I'm trying to find the others, because I know that there are more. Where is it? Is it over here? It might be at one of the lower houses. Let me check over here. Either way, they're little player heads in... There we go. There's one. It's very cool. And yeah, so, and then there's one up there, a little ghosty. up there. And then I really like these two, the trick-or-treaters, which you saw got a little bit exploded in the video. And Clara redid them within like 5 minutes. It was kind of absurd and, and impressive. So anybody who's on the server, if you want armor stand models, you could probably pay Clara to do it in diamonds or something else that's valuable, maybe. Clara, feel free to veto that, but but the armor stands are really cool. One at the armor stands. At this one? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. Lurking with lunch. Welcome on in, Kane. I'm glad to have you. I hope lunch is tasty. I am gonna need to sleep soon, but I do have a bed, so that's helpful. So yeah, so let me, while we're doing this though, hang on, let me put on shaders. If it decides it's gonna do it. Let's see if it does it. Because it looks, I mean, it looks cool without shaders, but my goodness, does it look cool with shaders. Look at how cool this is. Isn't it, like, super atmospheric? It looks really nice. I won't stay in the dark too long because, again, creepers, and I just don't want to. But it's the trick-or-treat village is really cool. I really like it. That was another skeleton, so I'm just gonna sleep. An armor stand service is a thing you will do. Okay, cool. Excellent. Yeah, it looks very pretty in the dark. It also looks pretty in the daytime, though, as well. And I think the screenshots that I used in the thumbnail may have even been when it was during the day, just because it was easier to see things in a thumbnail. So yeah, it does still look very nice. But anyway, what you may not have seen in the video necessarily, well, you probably saw, but I don't know. Yes, skeleton noises do fit the theme. That's very true, V's. Is that these are redstone trick-or-treat houses. So all you do is you ring the bell, and then they give you stuff. And I quite like it. So I thought I would walk you guys through how these work, basically. I'll hang on. I'll get rid of some of this so that the blocks that are kind of up here were so that the item went through the door instead of everywhere else that Minecraft likes to chuck items. But yeah, it's actually a pretty simple redstone thing. It did require a lot of gold for the doorbell noises. So there's a lot of gold of mine that's like in this build. Every building has 2 blocks of gold in it. So that's probably the most expensive thing. But basically, the system itself is a door, a dispenser. You could probably also do a dropper, but I made dispensers instead. I have the bows. I have a skeleton farm, so it wasn't difficult to get the materials for that. But I don't know, you could probably do it with a dropper as well if you really wanted to. And then it's literally like 3 pieces of redstone and then, or no, 4 pieces of redstone and 3 repeaters, 2 note blocks, and that's it. And a button and 2 gold blocks. So basically the doorbell is on this block here, right? Which you can see here. So what that does is it powers this block, right? The one that I'm looking at right now, this one. And because this block is powered, you can send redstone to any side of that block, or out of any side of that block, basically. 12 dispensers isn't cheap either. No, it's not. Although I did already have the bows, so that helped. The repeaters, 36 repeaters. That was a lot. But yeah, I should also say the schematic for this, oh, I meant to make this a button on my Stream Deck, but I didn't. The schematic for this, if you want, is on Ko-fi. You can become a member on Ko-fi, and it's not every single tier, but most of the tiers get access to the schematics for my builds in the Minecraft Archaeology series. So this Trick-or-Treat Village is one, the Nazca lines, the Temple of Zeus at Olympia, the pyramid at Chichen Itza, which is called Kukulkan or El Capitan, depending on which language you use or which name you use. There's Fushimi Inari Taisha, which is a Shinto shrine, Shinto temple in Kyoto, Japan. The one with like all of the really cool like red Shinto gates that lead up the mountain that you see a lot of people put pictures of on like Instagram and places. I built that in Minecraft. And then it also includes the Bran Castle build, the inspiration for Dracula's castle, which I made at Halloween last year. And I feel like there's another one that I am missing, but maybe not. Technically, it includes Petra, the one that Pix and I built, but that one is actually available to everybody in the description of the video that I put out with Petra. I think the description of both the talk that he and I gave and the video about Petra that I talked all about the history of the site for. So that's available to everybody as a world download. But yeah, so if you want it, there's Ko-fi. But also you can just look at what I'm doing here. Ah, no, come back. Nope, come back. Okay, so the redstone goes into this block, right? Let me keep going with this. The redstone goes into this block, which means that redstone signal can come out of any of the sides of this block that you want it to. So I've got two redstone signals coming out. I've got one that goes this way, and I've got one that comes this way, which is why the houses, every single house has this little area that juts out. So the doors, I keep doing that. The doors are always in this little kind of inset part, and then there's a bit that comes out either on the left or on the right or on both sides of the house. And some of them do it with a corner, you can see, but they do always have this little area that comes out so that you can fit redstone right next to this block, okay? So we'll do this circuit first, and then I'll do the other circuit because they're both relatively simple circuits, but it's easier to do one at a time. So for this one, this is the doorbell. This is the noise that the doorbell makes. So the redstone signal from the button goes into this block here, and then it goes into this redstone, which then goes into this block, and then this block. So repeaters, basically, they pass the redstone signal from one block to the next, but you can set them to do it on a delay. So you can, it's not a huge delay. You can do basically no delay at all, and then like 1 tick, 2, well, ticks, which is a time thing in Minecraft, but you can set it to have a longer delay or a shorter delay depending on what you want to do. So you can see if I put this all the way to the longest delay possible, and I push the bell, it's a much slower doorbell noise. So the reason I'm not really going terribly much into the delays is because it's not a big delay. There's not a huge difference. Whereas if I have the shortest delay possible, they go at basically the same time, which is a little bit too fast. And don't worry, I'll put these back. We'll put all that back. So what I found is that having it just like one over, so not the fastest delay, but the second fastest delay, tends to do the noise in a good enough time frame to get the thing to work, basically, to get the sound right. In order to get the bell noise, you have to put the note block on top of gold blocks, which is expensive. But it's if you have a fortune pick and you've gone mining in 119 or well, in 117 really or higher, you're probably okay. It can be really easy to get a lot of gold fairly quickly, especially if you're looking for diamonds, because there's so many fewer diamonds and so much I find so much gold when looking for diamonds. But anyway, so these the first one is 4 notes above the bass note. And then the second one is 1 note above the bass note. So you can do, basically you set note blocks by right-clicking them. And then you can basically set them to whatever notes you want. A lot of people do a lot of really complicated stuff with this, like getting entire songs into Minecraft. I've seen a number of people do Rickrolls with note blocks in Minecraft, etc. But this is a really simple doorbell sound. So you just place it, and then to tune it, basically for this one you right click 4 times, for this one you right click once, and then it goes as a doorbell. The other circuit is this one here, okay? And that is the circuit that opens the door and tells the dispenser to shoot an item at you. So the first thing it does is it takes the redstone signal from this block. Now, if you have a button, right? You've got this block powered. If your door is, hang on, no, here. Well, close enough. If your door is in this block, okay, the one right next to, well, this block and this block, really. So it's right next to the button. Then the door will open immediately without that delay. So you don't really want the door to be immediately next to the button. Was it stone? Let's put stone back. So instead, you want the door to be in this block here. This one, right there. And I've been putting it kind of, no, I don't want to fall down. Stop. All right, because there's like no space. I've been putting it, no. Okay, I always know which way doors go, and then I second guess myself, and then I put them the wrong direction. But I put it kind of on the inside edge of this block, so that the signal from this block doesn't actually power it. It has to go through this circuit. Okay, so this circuit, we have 2 repeaters on the longest delay possible. And then what I've done is do 3 bits of redstone to take the signal from the repeaters over to the dispenser first, and then to the door. Now, if you don't have this piece of redstone over the dispenser, then the dispenser will fire, but the door won't open. And you can see that... Ooh, the dispenser didn't even fire, because it's decided to go directionally that way. Okay. So you need this piece here, because I've got a block there. That makes sense. So you need this piece here in order for it to actually work, both the dispenser and the door. In the bigger houses, which I think it's nighttime, so I need to sleep, so hang on just a second. Let me show you the bigger houses where it doesn't necessarily, like, you can still get the dispenser to fire without the door opening. Hang on. One of the bigger houses is over here. Over this way. Okay, so they've got 2 large wings, I guess. So in this one, if I let myself in, hopefully there isn't like a skeleton randomly somewhere in here. I did try to light up like all of the builds. So if you do this, make sure that you don't end up with mobs inside of your buildings, especially if you make them a little bit bigger, just because it can be a problem. But yes, yeah, dispensers can be very picky. Okay, so it's still doing that. So maybe it did. When I was testing it, I could get the dispenser to fire, but the door wouldn't open. But I was only testing the circuits instead of testing everything that the circuits would have around them. So that's how it worked. But anyway, that's helpful to know that it won't necessarily ruin your redstone. Okay, hang on. I'll put this back. I did find that if I didn't have the blocks over the areas where the dispenser could shoot an item, that it would often like get stuck in the door, get stuck in the corner or something. So I really wanted it to like fire the item out at the person. So that's why these blocks happen. Sometimes, depending on what you're able to do with the directionality of the door, you can make it so that you can't see the redstone at all in the house. But then sometimes it just refused to orient the door in the way that I wanted, even though I was clicking in the right places for it to be. So I don't know. I don't know if that was just Minecraft being Minecraft. But yeah. So anyway, that's how those work. They're not super complicated, but I'm rather proud of them because it's the first Minecraft build that I've done where I wasn't looking at any tutorials. And I just sat there and figured it out. So I'm quite proud of it because redstone is usually very confusing to me. I know what each of the parts do, each of the pieces do, but putting them together into something more complicated has been difficult. Ah, ad break. Okay. I don't know exactly when the ad break was, but my guess is it might have just been in here. Basically, the stones, I've found that putting them on the top, yeah, that's true, the netherrack back in the first house. Keeping them on the top helps the item fire through the door instead of somewhere else in the house, basically. Yeah. Okay, the netherrack was in the first house. Which first house did I go trick-or-treating at? That's a question. Is it this one? Well, this is certainly a house that needed netherrack, so I'm guessing it's that one. And probably not this one? Oh no, this one too. Alright, well, I just have... Well, I only have 2 netherrack, so I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna go here. And that should be fine. Let me test that. Yeah, that's still fine. It's generally like the one on top and the one immediately next to the block that the item is getting thrown through. I think that is necessary. I have been being as as overly cautious as I can, in part because as soon as we built this, and Clara and Dragon and some others went through it, my husband and I were going on holiday for like 3 days, and I was like, okay, so if something goes wrong with this, I can't just troubleshoot it. So I was being a little bit extra paranoid to make sure that it definitely worked for any of the server members who couldn't make it to the sort of event that we had, but still obviously wanted to go trick-or-treating, because who doesn't want to go trick-or-treating? Yeah, and this is just gonna kind of live here now, I've decided. I like the idea of having a little Halloween village, and we can add to it in future years if we're still on season 1 of Archaeo SMP. I have no idea when season 1 will finish or anything. I haven't thought that far ahead. It still feels like almost like a brand new server in a way, so there's a part of me that's like, oh yeah, no, that's not even it's not even on the radar yet. But yeah, I like that we can kind of add stuff to this area, and I'm planning to have another area kind of like over on that side of spawn that is more like a wintry village theme area. So there may or may not be a significant amount of purchases from Dragon's Ice and Snow shop, but I think a winter theme area would be cool as well. It's so satisfying to figure out your first redstone design. It is, and it's like, especially one that's like buttons and things I get, or like trapdoors or pressure plates. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. But yeah, figuring out the first one that involves the more complex redstone pieces is pretty great. Pre-stock up, yeah. I'm gonna start doing stuff over there. Okay, so some of you actually haven't necessarily seen spawn. So let's go check out spawn. And I know some of the people who are wanting to see spawn might not be in chat just now, but I also know that they catch up on the VODs. So we'll tour spawn, also because spawn is cool and I like it. And there are a lot of builds. Spawn started out as an area where there were a lot of builds from the staff members on the Discord, who are also basically staff members on the server. And obviously, since the server has started, this is now our shopping district area, so there are a lot of builds now from all of the members of the server, which is really cool. So, could always do a bulk order. That's very true. Do I get a discount for a bulk order? I don't. I'm joking. I don't need a discount for a bulk order. It's fine. I'll just give you a whole bunch of bones, a whole bunch of bone meal or bone blocks. So yeah, so there's this shop here that is, hang on, let me make sure I get the name right. It is Dragon Galley, which is fresh-ish foods. It's all cooked pork chops. Is it all cooked pork? I said it was all cooked pork chops, and then I was like, I don't think that's correct, and it's not. It's cooked pork and golden carrots. This is one of Dragon's shops, as made evident by Dragon Galley. And then it's got like a little captain's quarters and stuff, and a whole bunch of stock everywhere. It's really cool. I have yet to purchase food from it because I keep forgetting, but I promise you, when my bread runs out, which is soon, there will be purchases made. And then, this is also one of Dragon's shops. This is the snow shop, snow/ice shop that I was talking about earlier. It's called Vanilla, which is great, because vanilla ice, it's fun. don't skulk around is also in the tower. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, so this is also a skulk shop. I forgot it was also skulk in the tower. Ender chests for valuables and things. I haven't made an ender chest myself yet. I'm working on it. It's some of my progress is slow, but it's fine. And then there's, yeah, snow layers, snow blocks, snowballs, and then there's a bunch of powdered snow and packed ice and then blue ice as well. And or packed ice, is there blue ice? There it is. I was like, I'm pretty sure there was blue ice in there. So I have bought some of that. Part of it, what I was showing on stream last time we streamed, because it's been a while since we streamed from Archaeo SMP, my goodness. But the little tunnel area that I have in my base, where I've built the stone generators and things, I've been using some of the ice for for the basalt generator at the very least. Whee! Okay. Oh, this is a question. Okay. Shrieker / sensor available upon request. Skulk 64 for 9 diamonds. That is easily something I could do. I'm not going to do it just now, but for those of you who know about, who've been here for a while, you know the big flying bird design that I want to do eventually. It has a lot of skulk in it. So I'm going to be taking, it also has a lot of the skulk veins all over some terracotta. So I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of this shop because because it's going to be significantly easier than finding an ancient city myself or the deep dark. As we've discovered, there's like no deep dark under my base. So, all right. Oh, cool. Okay. I haven't been in the basement before, so this is new for me as well. Hang on. If I press the correct key. That's cool! Okay, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I'm not in a place where I can easily get out though, so let me get somewhere where I can get onto land. There we go. We do have a nether portal for spawn, and then somebody, and I gotta be honest, I'm not entirely sure who. This might be, I have ideas of who this might be, but I don't actually know who it is. But there is a little grab-and-go iron shop, which is really helpful. So 32 iron for a diamond, I believe. Yeah. And then that's, well, there are a couple of those around spawn. I've got my bed out, but I don't know if it's time to sleep yet. I'm gonna B-dubs it. I'm gonna B-dubs it and have some tea. There we go. The thing about the shaders is that they always make me think that it's nighttime, like way before it is nighttime. And I sometimes am like, okay, I'll go by when I can see the stars, and that'll be nighttime, but that's still not quite nighttime. So yeah. Okay, so this is one of our inns. This was designed and built by Short Round, who is sometimes around in chat. She's been extremely busy, so she hasn't been able to be in chat as much as she's wanted to. But she designed this inn, which is the one that we started in today. So this is kind of the downstairs lobby area, and then there are 5 rooms, I want to say. Oh, maybe not. Maybe there are 2 rooms. There's this room. And then there is one over here. Yeah. I was mistaken with how many rooms there are. I think there are 5 in the one that I made, and that's where the number is coming from. And then this is technically like the owner's office. Now, you'll see a lot of super shiny stuff around spawn, especially around some of the inns. The spawn area originally, we have a lot of people who are on the server who haven't played Minecraft before. So I didn't want them to be starting out with no idea of how to play the game and no chance of getting a bed because it's not like the game really tells you that's a thing. And then have them kind of like die on their first night and feel like that's that, and you know, they're frustrated with it and don't want to play anymore. So we built a couple of inns, and then we built a community center and a trading hall, and also a smithy, just to give new players a little bit of a boost on the server. We do also have the server in easy mode, although we'll probably move it to normal mode soon. just because I think at this point the people who want to be on the server have been on the server and probably would like to get some villager trading halls going. And granted, actually, if we're after villager trading halls, we should probably move it to hard mode, but hard mode scares me, so we'll see. And I do need to touch base with some of the people who haven't been able to be as active as they've wanted to be, just to make sure that if they do become more active, they don't end up on a server that is like twice as hard to play on as the one they left, basically. But yeah, there's also food in the inns. This might be news to some of you who are on the server. There's free food in the inns. You can just take it. That's again so that new people didn't have issues starting out, basically. So I don't keep it stocked anymore, but yeah, it exists. This is the newest shop. It just opened the other day. I haven't been inside of the finished version. It's not totally finished, but this is a candle, and I believe candles and honeycomb? Right? Hang on. Candle lights. Okay, so this might be, yeah, I know for sure that it's definitely candles, and that's why I've been saving my diamond. I want candles. I have been waiting for candles for a while, and I'm excited. I think this is their building materials, would be my guess. So yeah, they're currently selling regular candles at the moment, but they plan to sell all different colors of candles, etc., etc., etc. So I'm excited for this shop. There's no joy like that of logging into an SMP for the first time, and it's the middle of the night and nobody's lit up spawn. Yeah. Oh. I imagine, especially as someone who does pacifist runs, that must be particularly harrowing. So yeah, there's the little candlelights shop, and this is by Pancake Queen and Belugart or Stitch. They're sometimes in chat, but they're definitely active on the Discord. They can't always tune in to the stream just because it's in the middle of, well, it's in the middle of like when they're in class and stuff. So, but they are active on the server, and they've got their shop open, and I'm very excited. You don't see the issue, you just die a few times, it's fine. Yeah, it's we do have keep inventory on, so like there are a lot of safeguards in place. But some of it is that Minecraft can be very unintuitive, and I didn't want to dissuade anybody from playing. But at this point, it has been a couple of months that the server's been going, so I think we can take some of the safety nets away. At least a little bit. Yeah, die and just leave my gravestone by spawn as a message to others. See, that's something that we could do, but it would require like finding where you died. But I like that idea of just having gravestones everywhere somebody has died on the server. Like in Dark Souls, which I've never played, Dark Souls or Elden Ring, neither of which I've played because I'm really bad at games where you have to run up and hit something, as evidenced by my skill in Minecraft, which is not a terribly difficult game for that kind of thing, but I'm still really bad at it. But like where they're like the messages of where people have misstepped, where other players have misstepped. I kind of like the idea of having that in Minecraft. That would be kind of funny. Being spawn camped by a creeper is never fun. No, absolutely not. I think there was a while where, was it in this server? It might not have been in this server, but I know that Jossie has been spawn camped by by mobs before. I know that I have been spawn camped by mobs before. This, I'm checking all the boxes or all the barrels because this is my shop. It's an amethyst shop. I do need to restock the tinted glass at least just a little bit, but it's amethyst blocks, amethyst crystals, amethyst shards, and tinted glass. A lot of people have been buying from it, as you can see. I mean, like, these were all full, and I've actually refilled this one a couple of times, so it's a popular shop. I just haven't been paying attention to it for like a week, which is probably a problem. So yeah, so that's this half of spawn. Then there's this little building over here. This is, well, I say little, it's not that little actually. This is the trading hall. So everybody who is on the server has a little box on the server, and basically you put stuff that you are happy to get rid of that you don't really want. You have far more of it than you could ever need. You put that in your chest and then put a sign saying what you could use. And this, I haven't updated mine since we were slabbing the nether portals, the nether tunnels, so it still says cobblestone. But I also still wouldn't be opposed to cobblestone, so that's fine. And yeah, so ooh, I can do that for Pancake Queen, and I kind of want the honeycomb. At least some of it. So I might do that. I might try to remember to do that either on stream or off stream. And Lazagat is wanting 2 bells. I have not gotten bells, but I should really look for some bells. So yeah, so that's the kind of situation with the trading hall. And they're just free signs so that people don't have to remember to bring a sign. They're just signs you can use. And then there is, let's see. There is a fisherman's a fishing hut. This was not a fishmonger. This was not originally part of the plan. While we were building the buildings before the server kind of opened up, I had the villagers for the smithy, which is that building there, and we'll get to that in a second. I had them, and I had cordoned them off, and they were fine. And then somehow out of the blue, this guy turned up. I didn't give the villagers food, so I'm not entirely sure what happened, but he turned up and I had an extra villager, and then because I like decorating with barrels, he was like, I'll become a fisherman, and I was like, fine. So so there is actually a fully upgraded master fisherman here, so if you want an Unbreaking 1 fishing rod, or you have a bunch of boats that you want to get for emeralds, this guy exists because he volunteered. he just appeared. There's nothing in the barrels, it's just decoration, but there is like a little area into the, oh, hang on. I probably shouldn't have done that. There is a little area into the water, and then over to, hang on, over to the side, like right here, there's a little coral reef, and there had been fish, but they have since despawned. Tropical fish, I should say. They've since despawned because I forgot to name them, and and that's what happens when you forget to name things. So so that guy exists. Vanilla Tweaks does have a Graves data pack. That's true. That is true, but I think it saves all of your stuff in the grave. Although, since we have keep inventory on, it would still just be empty graves. So it would still just make the... Yeah, that might be something. No. No. No rain. I don't want rain. I can't sleep yet. Yeah, I might look into the graves data pack. I feel like that could be fun. We'll see. Maybe I'll take a vote among server members and see what people think. It's still not quite sleepy time yet. So this is the smithy. There is, again, because there were new people, I didn't want them to have to, like, figure out how to get some of the better tools. So I wanted a smithy with villagers in it, and then I was like, okay, well, if I leave them, like, not upgraded at all, then somebody is probably going to come along and upgrade all of them. And then that person has put a lot of work into upgrading these guys for relatively little gain to themselves necessarily. So I just upgraded them fully from the beginning and was like, you guys could, it's still full emerald prices. You can do what you want. I think most people made their own gear anyway. But yeah, so they've got all the diamond tools. It just seemed fairer than like somebody else on the server realizing that they kind of wanted the what am I saying? The resources and spending all of those resources to get it. When the world gives you a villager, you let them be a fisherman. Exactly. There are like upstairs to a lot of these. Like I made a little living space for the 3 of them, even though they're locked in behind their counters. Also, they escaped numerous times, even with like trapdoors and slabs and as many. They haven't escaped since, but they have escaped many times, these villagers. It's as per usual. I did also make like a bargain bin, so there's some like iron tools and things, and the bargain prices, it's basically like if you put, I don't know, 2 stacks of something that's relatively mid-range difficulty to get, you can have, you know, an iron chest plate. It's not the easiest way to get things necessarily, but like it can be, and it gives me resources to build up the rest of the server basically. So I figured that was that worked as well. This is the community center. This is again one of the buildings we had before the server opened up. There's like a little library area with a few books that are like basics of Minecraft, again because we had people who didn't know how to play, and I didn't want them having to watch hours and hours and hours of tutorials in order to figure that out. There is also like there's some music discs and a jukebox, like a little living room area, and also a furnace area, crafting table. There's also a singular anvil and then a stone cutter and things, so people could come in and use these if they wanted to. And then this is the area that gets used most often. It's the mailbox. Oh, I left it in the mailbox. That must be it. I feel like maybe I left it in the mailbox. Maybe I had taken it out. This is probably what happened. I probably took out the 5 emerald ore, and then I was building up the Halloween area, and I was like, I don't want to lose these, so I came back in and put them back to keep them safe. So I'll take them now, which is good. I'm glad I came to check this out. There is, like, some people, everybody has like a little bit of a starter pack, again, to new players. Really didn't want new players getting discouraged. But a lot of people, it was like an optional thing. You can use these if you want. You don't have to. I think I took my axe to use as fuel. So yeah, and then like a little welcome to the server of, you know, what things are where and such. Yeah, these are basically like if you make a deal with somebody on the Discord, you can put stuff in their mailbox rather than having to find their base. So it's been very helpful. And then I think there are a couple of other buildings. There's like a bulletin board, but it's so far all it's done is say that we're gonna do the dragon together at some point soon. I need to organize that. But other people can post things they want on the bulletin board as well. It just doesn't get as much use. And then we have this lovely build over here. This is Clara's build. This is a magical tower. It's like a wizard's tower situation. There's also a spider somewhere, apparently. But there's yeah, Clara's magical emporium and a magical garden. So this is the little garden. It's got glowberries for sale. Where? Okay, I feel like the spider must be like immediately below me. But there's glowberries and there's moss and glow lichen and ender chest. There's this is adorable. The little bee is adorable. And then like little beehive and stuff. I love this build. It's so good. And they're tadpoles, which is where we got the tadpoles for the frog pond that I've got at my base. And yeah, so there's stuff in the garden, and then there's also enchantments and such inside. Let me just double check that there isn't a spider inside here. I don't think there is. It should be spawn proof in here, but I'm just double checking in case. But up here is the enchantment services, basically. So you can order enchantments with the lectern, put your item in there, and pick it up over here. That kind of thing. So it's a really cool build. I really like your build, Clara. Yes, that's true. We now have the blaze powder that we need to find the stronghold. We just need some ender pearls, but that shouldn't be terribly difficult to get. So yeah, so hopefully we can do the dragon fight soon as a server. At least that's my goal. I also like the little bench. I like benches. I like the design. It's so good. There's a phantom head. It's good. I like this tower. And then the last thing, I don't think I've missed any of them. The last thing is this inn over here. It's similar to the other inn, but I built this one. Ooh, hang on, wait a minute. We can update the map. So these are the buildings that existed. This is just like a little square. And then these are the buildings that we had when we opened the server. but I can actually update it. And now we have all the buildings. How cool is that? I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, has that gotten everybody's builds? Yes. Oh, and I missed Lazagod's mud shop. Hang on. All right, so there's this inn, and then we'll go back, because we have to go back that way to get to the nether anyway, and then I'll check out the Blaze farm. So there are like 5 rooms in here. They're kind of cramped and kind of small because that's my build style. I like cramming things into small spaces in Minecraft, or cluttering up spaces maybe. And there is also a loft. It's got some extra beds and storage and such. I was quite proud of that design, even though I kind of forgot I had done it until just now. But yeah, that's this inn, and it's got a little fireplace. It's cool. I like it. It's fun. But yeah, let me, because Lazagod's shop is also one that I really like. I'm very grateful to have, and I walked right by it. I do that sometimes, where I walk right by things that are, like, obvious. Okay. Lazagod's shop is back this way. Or at least if memory serves, it's back this way. This is the thing, is that my brain forgets things so much that even when I remember things correctly and I know it's correct, I still second guess myself. But this is mud and masonry. So it's I mean, it's mud, but also clay and terracotta and some like andesite and granite and basalt and all sorts of stone and clay blocks, which is great. So I really like this shop. I have purchased from this shop a few times. It's a good shop. I don't have any more diamonds because I used them on the candles, so I won't use them just now. But I do very much like this shop. Okay, let's go check out this Blaze farm, and then I'll head back towards my area. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do in my area today, but you know, so far you all have convinced me that even when I putter around, I'm interesting. So. So we'll see. I haven't been back to my area in a while. This spawn portal is still, like, not in the tunnel system that we have. Oh, V's cake or death. Okay, we gotta remember to do cake or death. We will do cake or death. Did that make a... Oh, no, because it doesn't have a noise. I couldn't get fireworks. Okay, but we will do cake or death once we get back to my base. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, to most portals. The Blaze spawner, it's up in the nether tunnels, right? I think. The nether looks really cool, with shaders on, just as a thing. Also, this is cool. Is this... this just goes up to the tunnels? Is that different to the... Ah! So, somebody got hit by a ghast. Do I trust myself on this? Not really, but you know what? Oh gosh. No. I have gold trousers. I do not have armor. So we're gonna go the safe way up into the tunnels. I love how immediately I was like, do I trust myself to stay safe on this? And then immediately the ghast started shooting. Like, no, never mind. So this is the tunnel system. Oh, there we go, Blaze farm. Cool. We are going to be doing stuff with the tunnel system in terms of, like, making different color pathways and things. This is new. This is very cool. I don't know whose that is. I'm going to leave that. Just in case, sometimes when you go through nether portals, it kind of screws things up, and I don't want to accidentally cause problems that I can't immediately fix, basically, if it's somebody else's base. But that's cool. And then the Blaze farm. So let's go over to the Blaze farm. Ad break. That's fine. I'm just traveling. There's signs from the spawn place. Cool. Oh, you guys, this looks so cool. Can I show this off once the ad break is done, Clara and Dragon? Although I think Dragon probably had to leave. just because this space is really cool too. Clara and Dragon have spent a lot of time decorating their nether area, and they've spent a lot of time decorating a lot of places on the server. But this is really cool. Dragon showed me this a little while ago. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna show a little bit of this off just because it's really, really cool. So yeah, so this is Clara and Dragon, and they're down here. It's a skulk sensor door. So when you walk over, there's a skulk sensor on the, I'm assuming on the ground, like below this. And when they detect that you've walked over them, they will, or walked near them basically, they will open the door and close the door. How cool is that? It's so cool. Okay, I need you to, well, I'll take the advancement. I also need the door to close. Okay. Oh, that's cool too. Did the skulk sensors light up the light? That's really cool. I was seeing this as it was getting built, so some of this I haven't seen either. This is off towards Dragon's area, or at least I think this is off towards Dragon's base in general. But Dragon also has an ice farm that is near-ish to his base. He's got a mountain base, and it's really cool. And then the skulk in the ceiling. How cool is this? It's just such a cool build. And then there's like a little camping area, campfire area. Ooh. That's worrying. If something went wrong with, like, sound or anything, let me know. There was just a weird, like, you know, the computer noise of something disconnecting? That just happened in my ear, and I'm not sure if it... USB device. Can you all still hear me? It says you should be able to still hear me. The door makes you so happy. Dragon did an... Yeah, it's such a good door. And you guys, this whole area, it's great. You can hear me. Okay, all right. I think my computer is just being my computer. Okay. It just did the disconnect noise, and I was like, oh, has that... The only thing that's a USB that would matter is, like, my headset. So if you can still hear me, then that's fine. Yeah, and then there's, like, some piglin traders, and then over here, well, off this way, is this the one? I think this is the one out towards your guys' bone farm, skeleton spawner farm. Maybe not. Ooh, maybe not, because there's this one over here. This is the skeleton spawner. I don't know what that one is then. There's one over there too somewhere. And then the one back there is to Clara's base. So it's so cool. I just think it's a really cool nether build, and it doesn't even, like, you wouldn't remember that you're in the nether, which is kind of great. Just don't try to sleep in a bed, because that would be a problem. But it's such a cool area. I love it. And mine is nowhere near this cool. Mine is literally just a tunnel still. But we'll get there. The door is amazing. The cave is the wizard tower project. Ah, that makes sense. The one on the ground is the skelly farm. Yeah. That makes sense. Clara's also got a wizard tower project. Someday, I keep saying this, but I promise we will do a tour of the server one of these streams. Just because so many other people on the server have been building some really cool stuff, and there's part of the spawn area is great because it makes it easy to get things to people, but the downside is that it means that you're not necessarily traveling to people's bases as often. So we'll do a showcase of people's bases, but I do need to give them fair warning before I just, you know, hop into somebody's base. Okay. Blaze farm this way. All right. These tunnels are fairly long. Like, there's a lot of tunnel in here because we have areas where, like, harvesting sand and terracotta and such is kind of preferred in certain areas. There's some deserts and things right next to spawn, but oh, I need to eat. Hang on a minute. I know I have a golden carrot. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. We do have some areas that are like desert and terracotta and jungle and such, like right next to spawn or right near spawn, but some people are building their bases there, so we kind of designated some areas that were further out, but the next closest deserts and terracotta and like coral reefs and such are a ways out. So there's a lot of I spent a long time slabbing these tunnels and Dragon spent a long time digging them, so so our tunnels are fairly extensive. But Blaze farm? Blaze farm. Cool. Let's check this out. And maybe get some blaze rods. We'll see. I don't have any armor on, so I know that there are areas of this that are open for getting wither skeletons and such. So, you know, if there's a wither skeleton somewhere, yeah, we'll just do this. See if I get anything. Come on. Do I have to go down here to check the space? I'm assuming. I'm glad that you guys have spawn-proofed this. I'm glad you guys have spawn-proofed this. I'm so bad when it comes to mobs. It's so bad. You want a mod that turns all the different mobs into farmers, and then when you show someone your blaze farm, it's just a bunch of blazes farming some potatoes or something. That would be amazing. That would be great. I love how I look at the barrel first. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a lot of blaze rods. So I'm just gonna take a few. I won't take that many. I definitely didn't get here. I'll take the number that's actually reasonable for what I just killed. And then yeah, there's also the fortress for wither skeleton skulls. Oh my gosh, blazes are so loud. At least for me. The game noises are loud. So yeah, so there's that. I suppose I could have been wearing my leather chestplate this whole time. Leather chestplate? It is a tunic. Okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, so this is cool. This is really useful, especially because potions would be nice to start brewing and things. So I'm a big fan of blaze farms. I just hadn't gotten the motivation to build one yet, so I'm really glad that you guys tackled it. Really cool. Okay, now the question becomes, where is my base in relation to this? I'm gonna say it's this way. This is why we need to decorate the tunnels a bit more and have a bit more of a system for like color coding the tunnels and such. We are working on that. It just takes a while. It's a better XP farm than the Skelly farm. Ah, that is true. That's good to know. Or good to remember, basically. Blaze farm that way, blaze farm that way. I'm guessing desert, blaze farm, coral reef. Okay, I think I keep going to the right, but the coral reef, I marked the coral reef quite well from where my base is because because I was going to go there on a stream and I didn't want to get lost in the tunnels. So I marked it very clearly. So I was like, okay, but based on this sign for the coral reef, what does that mean in terms of where where my base is? We'll get there. We'll find it. It'll be fine. Watch out for minotaurs. Yes. You've gotten lost in the tunnels a few times. Yeah, it's the tunnels are not super easy to navigate at the moment. It's fine like between spawn and other people's bases, but once you're further out at any of the farms or the harvesting areas, it can be a little bit difficult to figure out where you are. But I think okay, so this is Coral Reef Desert, Blaze Farm. I feel like this way is a direction to go. I mean, it's a beautiful sentence, but I think this might be my area. Hey, I remembered. Okay. Yeah, mine is literally just a tunnel. It's connected to Jossie's tunnel because Jossie is near me in terms of bases, so that one's Jossie's and this one's mine. But yeah, ignore the degree to which it's unfinished. Let's see if it's nighttime. It probably is. Oh, it's not. Oh, that's helpful. Cool. Okay, so, ooh, I should actually show you guys. I've been doing, so, this, I have a goal for the nether portal. I want to move it down to, like, right in the middle of this, and then I've split it up into 8 different parts, and I want to have different biomes from the nether in each of these spaces. So that's definitely something we're going to be working on once I feel like I have the materials to do it. But I really want, like, this whole area to be very, like, nether-y area kind of situation. So it's not just gonna have a bridge that leads to the portal right here. It's gonna have a bridge that goes like down into this area where the nether portal is. That's my goal. You're trying to go to your base and ended up at mine the other day. Just on the other side of spawn. Yes. Oh, that's a shame. Here, let me go this way. My frogs are still doing fine, or at least they were like the last time I was here. They do still quite like hopping around and sitting in grass. But they're, yeah, I like them. They're doing just fine. I still really like this frog pond build. It's probably one of my favorite ones in this area. I acquired a llama. My mule, I don't know if my mule still actually, I should check to see if my mule still has stuff from the Halloween build. No, okay, I was good. And I got all the stuff. It took 4 trips going back and forth to bring all of the materials back from that area, from that build. So so it was a lot. There was a lot of stuff. And yeah, I've been trying to work on getting an elevator, or the elevator I was mentioning at the start of stream, I want it to be like here and just kind of go down, but I want it to have a bird theme. So that's, I'm still figuring that out. I should probably put a lot of this away and also probably get my armor. my regular armor. That's not my regular armor. Okay, hang on. What am I doing? Food. let me put stuff. No, wait. Oh, you can tell it's been a while since I've been around this area. Food. Cake. I can also put the cake. We have to do cake or death. Hang on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Deep dark. Let me put these, let me just organize slightly. Heads. Let's put the Halloween costume away. I can do that, and we can take this off. And you know what? Actually, because the trousers, they have mending, but I have better enchants on my diamond trousers, so I'd rather keep those. Oh, apparently I had 5 blaze rods already. I don't remember if that was from killing blazes or if that was from trading or something. But you can't trade for blaze rods, right? So I must have killed blazes. That's surprising. I'm not usually that good at doing that. That's surprising. Metal blocks. Let's do this, and then trying to put all this away relatively quickly, so that we don't spend significant amounts of stream staring at my my chest system. Pumpkin and copper. Okay, all right. So copper needs to go here. I have so much copper. So much copper. Pumpkin is over here. And then I'm gonna keep the bread. I do need to use the slime ball. I also I'm not sure if there is anybody who has a slime farm. I might investigate doing that, because slime would be nice for for redstone stuff. So that, yeah, that's I was gonna add more to that sentence, and then I realized that actually that's pretty much the extent of the sentence. And then this is my miscellaneous box that is mostly dirt that doesn't fit in my dirt box. And then a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, it's everything's fine. Okay, all right, we're gonna do cake or death, because Bees redeemed that a while ago, 17 minutes ago. And I like the horn. I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep the horn on me. All right, okay. I should also, hang on. Let me get iron. Not iron. Let me get armor. I can do armor. Is it the golden pants that I usually, oh, okay. All right, hang on. Apparently, I'm bad at remembering. And the trousers are the ones that I use. I thought I had boots. My brain. My brain. Okay. We're gonna do cake or death. Praying to the cake gods. Alright. Definitely can't trade for blades rods. That's what I thought. No matter how many times you ask the clerics to stock them. Yeah. Yeah. I always wish that you could. Okay. So, for anybody who might be new, we have a shrine to cake in this base. It's right here. It's a relatively old shrine, or at least that's what I'm saying in the lore. It's got tropical fish in it and puffer fish, and they guard the cake from potential cake thieves. And there is cake roulette. So Bees is praying to the cake gods. Let's see what you get. Let me move this cake out of my inventory so that I don't get confused. Just in case. And here we go. Fireworks! Fireworks. It didn't, I mean, it didn't hit me in the face, so that's a positive. But it did explode. So it's the fireworks gods that are in favor of you today, it seems. But you know, I mean, firework, put some sparklers on a cake, mate. Don't put sparklers on a cake. Don't do this. Don't actually do that. How can the clerics even use their brewing stands if they don't have blaze powder? That's true. Maybe the blaze rods and the blaze powder, because like, how do they even have brewing stands without blaze rods? You shall plan your day accordingly. Yes. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll put a cake back in the cake shrine. Excellent. I enjoy the cake shrine. That's also probably one of my favorite builds. I like all of my builds, which is good, seeing as it's my area. I would hope I like my builds. But yeah. Okay. I definitely thought that I brought the ore. Okay, so I do end up, okay, several things. This room needs some gold ore and some diamond ore to kind of finish it. I've got the emerald ore now. I don't know that I want to necessarily put the emerald ore places if I don't have the other ores, just because I feel like it's going to be a bit tight in here for gold and emerald and diamond. So I kind of want to have all of them so I can kind of maneuver them around as and when. I might move these and have the, like, if I move the redstone to kind of this area and then move the lapis over. We'll see, but I kind of need the other ores to figure it out. I do still have, I mean, like, this is still done. The generator, the stone generator, it's mostly got stone in it, but it can do cobblestone. And then, like, the super simple obsidian generator. It's not a generator, but it works. You know what I mean? The smelter has been very helpful, especially for that Halloween build. Getting all the gold, which I've now fired all of my gold. Oh. Interesting. I wonder why I put that there and not in here. Who knows? It's my brain. I don't pretend to understand it. But this has been very helpful. So we have like half an hour-ish, 40 minutes-ish. I could build up one of these other ones, or I could go mining and see if we get some ores, or what else could we do? We could figure out like a tunnel design for the nether portals. Here, let me do a poll. Let me do a poll and see what you guys want. Okay. What should we do? And we'll do, base tunnel build. That's this tunnel, the overworld option. That's this. Oh, it's too many. Okay, all right. Let's do nether tunnel design, And then we'll do, what was the other thing I said? Oh yeah, mining for ores. Trying to think if there's anything else we could do, but I feel like those are probably the options. Let me put this in for 5 minutes just so that the delay doesn't doesn't make it impossible for you guys to be able to see. But yeah, we'll do a poll and see what happens. We could do, so the options down in here, there's the Hunters Guild, this is my shop stock / storage area, which could be helpful. There's the glow lichen and glow berries area, which would also probably be good to do. It's kind of like a farm / thing. Chorus fruit we can't do because we haven't been to the end. Fungus farms, that's like all of the mushrooms. And then there's the lava generator, which is kind of halfway started because fuel for stuff. We could actually do the lava generator. Or probably not potions just now, just because they're complicated. So yeah, so if it's the overworld, we'd be doing like either the lava generator, the mushroom farms, mushroom and fungus farms, the glow lichen stuff, the shop stock, or like the Hunters Guild kind of situation. The nether option, the nether tunnel option, would be coming up with a design for my nether tunnel, and then kind of building that, basically. And then the other one is mining for ores to try and get some gold ore, some diamond ore, and some... No, those are the only two that I need, but to get some gold and diamond ores. So I'll let the poll go for a bit. And while it is, shall we do? Oh, it's dark. while it is. Hang on, wait a minute. Let's go over here. Let's sleep so that we don't get creepers in my base. Do I have anything up here? I always think that my base is really organized, and then I realize that it's really not. It's like semi-organized, and then they're just a bunch of boxes that are like stuff that's been chucked somewhere in the nearest available box. This is okay. This isn't bad. I did have a Nautilus shell. Oh well, I didn't use it. It's fine for the drowned costume. That's all good. Here, let me see it. Let me see what's up with the poll. Ooh, a lot of you are wanting to go mining. Okay. I'll let it keep going just to see, just to give people a chance. So far mining is winning. Yeah, my goodness. Cool. Well, we can go mining. Even if other people vote, we don't have to go mining, but let me prep to go mining at the moment. Let me see. I do have my pickaxes. Probably should do this, but if we're mining deep enough, then it doesn't really matter. I will need blocks. Let me just do netherrack because I have way too much netherrack. I have more netherrack than anybody could ever want, ever. I do also need to remember to get the nether wart over to Pancake Queen for some honeycomb, because that would be nice. Okay. Let me get a bit more coal as well if we're gonna go mining. Gonna need some more coal eventually. So that might be an argument for for going like at the level where deep slate and stone kind of meet for at least a little bit, just to see if I can get more coal for torches. But we do also have what am I thinking? Let me finish a thought before I move on to the 7 others. We do also have... Nope, I don't know what the thought was. It's gone. Never mind. Oh, I remember what it is. Okay, I have Optifine on. so there's dynamic lighting. So I can just carry a torch with me and it lights up the surrounding area. But that's my brain. Mining is probably a good idea. I'm not sure. I feel like my brain is just like not Not super functional. All right, I'm not seeing new people having voted, so I'm just gonna end the poll now. Cool, so mining 1. Excellent. Can do. Let's go mining. Let's I don't have a fancy elevator yet to take down into the mining area, so right now the tactic is jumping. I'm glad that there's water at the bottom of this, cause that would be a problem. Yeah. Let's go into this area because I have a couple of mining spots. There's also all this. See, I have far more netherrack than anybody could ever want. I also have 2 double chests full of the stuff. I have so much netherrack. I don't need more. Yeah, so if anybody wants netherrack for some reason, let me know and I will happily give it to you. This is the tunnels down. Oh, sorry. I should say if you get motion sick, I am going into spirals. So, warning. Sorry. I meant to do that before I started going in spirals, but yeah. Also, amethyst looks really weird in these shaders. Just gonna say. It's the one thing where I'm like, "Oh, I'm not sure I like the shaders on this on the amethyst clusters and such." We don't need to go to the geodes. Hang on, wait a minute. But there is a... Is it up here? There's this. But I do have 46 coal. I also love how I only brought 20 more sticks. So I didn't bring any source of wood. But that's fine. It's fine. Is there any in here? No, but there is iron ore. And some copper ore. Well... It's fine. Everything's fine. There's a lot of copper ore, actually. But I'm interested in gold and diamond, so I do think we want to go further down. What is it, like 40, negative 58, I think. I have a strip mine. Well, I have a mine. I guess it's a strip mine down here that'll be at the right level. Or should be at the right level, at least. Hopefully. Oh, I should have warned you guys about the spiraling as well. Sorry. My bad. I think this is the better one to use. Minus 54? No. This is the better one to use. I think this is negative 58. Yeah. I think negative 58... Oh gosh, now I don't remember. Is it negative 58 or negative 54? I'm pretty sure it's negative 58 that's better. I know one of them is better. More saddles. I love how they're just saddles in, like, all of my chests, because I have so many saddles. Also, this is a lot of deep slate. I should bring this up, because I've been running out of deep slate for my tunnel build, the one underneath my base, and there's all of this deep slate. The dwarves down too greedily and too deep. An ad break. That's okay. We're just gonna be digging. I have been doing, like, tunnels in various directions, but obviously that only works so much. What's up here? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, because that came down. I see. I understand. I know what I'm doing. Maybe. Kind of. Sometimes. Sort of. Let's do this and go, like, directly under here. Oh, this is why, I shouldn't be mining with, Silk Touch when it's deep slate, because you can't really do much with, regular deep slate. You kind of have to turn it into cobbled deep slate, which, if you're gonna be mining it twice, don't mine it twice, basically. Saves mining it twice. Don't need torches that frequently. And back. Good. I didn't say anything of worth while you guys were away at the ad break. I know I was talking. It wasn't it wasn't important. None of it was interesting. It was just me deciding to go under the stairs and trying to figure out why I had stairs up to a different set of tunnels. That's all. It's not, yeah. I'm entertaining, I swear. Here, let's do like 40 torches. That's a good number of torches. Go this direction until we can't go this direction anymore. Hello, Sheepscalibur. Thank you so much for subscribing with Prime. Welcome on in. I hope you enjoy the stream. We haven't I'm realizing that we haven't I was having this thought like just a second ago. We haven't actually talked about much archaeology today. I've kind of just been showing you guys some stuff. But, I mean, we did have, like, massive archaeology discussions on Tuesday. It was like the entire stream was... I just gave up on Minecraft at a certain point. I was like, I can't talk and think at the same time. So here we go. But yeah, it's... Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I realized, is there any archaeology stuff anybody wants to chat about? Because we definitely can. I'm also not going to worry about sleeping while I'm down here. I'm far enough away from my base that it doesn't spawn things. So we're just gonna strip mine. I know strip mine isn't the best way to get diamond ore, but I also don't feel like getting lost in a cave system and then dying. Basically, I'm not sure how fun that is. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Ah, I love the pockets of tough. Hello, 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 Sheepscalibur. Also, can I just say, Sheepscalibur is an excellent name. That's an excellent username. I really enjoy Sheepscalibur. I love how I said it perfectly like 3 times, and then just there, I just couldn't say it for some reason. Enjoying my YouTube videos about archaeology. It came from the spawn chunks. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you've been enjoying them. I've been enjoying making them and really enjoying meeting everybody who's found my stuff through the spawn chunks. It's really, really cool. I'm glad that Pix agreed to my very odd request to do a conference on Archaeo gaming. It was a lot of fun and a really nice set of builds and conversations and everything. So I'm super glad people have been enjoying it. Look at your user's avatar. Oh, is it? I will have to do that not on stream, but that's exciting. I enjoy the prospect of a Sheepscalibur design. Hey, gold ore. Excellent. We've got one of the ores we were down here for. I mean, I also need more gold because I used it all on the trick-or-treat houses because they took 2 gold blocks each. so I'm probably going to collect a fair amount of gold ore because I need it again. And also because it's nice to use, but why am I not? Oh no, okay. I thought I wasn't picking stuff up, but no, it just wasn't making the noise in my ear, which is fine. I do kind of want to make like a rail system maybe, or I don't know. There's stuff that gold is useful for that I kind of want. Oh, hang on. Let's... That's probably fine. It's probably fine with the new light rules. Maybe. Probably. More or less. Good enough. It's glorious. All right. I'm glad that others have taken a look. I will definitely look after stream. But yeah. I think we do have a Discord, actually, which you may have already seen Sheepscalibur from the YouTube videos, depending on which ones you've been checking out. But I do have a Discord. There we go. And we've been chatting a little bit on the Discord about... There have been some news stories recently that are really cool, but also it's interesting how the media portrays archaeology. So there was an article that came out yesterday in The Guardian, which is it came out, I think the version I saw was in The Guardian, but I'm sure it was published elsewhere as well. Was it in The Guardian? I don't think it was in The Guardian, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, there was a news story yesterday that was talking about a comb, like a head lice comb. Well, it's a regular comb, but it's particularly... The inscription on it basically says, "May this comb rid me of head lice," effectively. Which is fantastic. Graffiti is one of the best things in the like historical record that we have, because it's people writing stuff in the moment that's important to them, but also not really like a lot of the time when people do graffiti, they don't have much of a filter. So so they write whatever's on their mind, and they don't really care if it sounds, you know, poetic or anything necessarily. I mean, I should say lots of people doing graffiti do care about how what they're saying sounds. But there are also a certain number of people doing graffiti who are just like, you know what? here's what I think, and here's what it is. And it's a very kind of honest type of inscription and such. So I really enjoyed that it was like, get rid of the head lice, please, basically. And it's really cool, but the newspaper article was like, this is the first sentence ever written. And that's just categorically not true. It's the first sentence written in a language that only uses alphabets, like a writing system that is an alphabetic system and doesn't have like hieroglyphs or pictograms or anything. Ooh, diamonds! I feel like I should get on an archaeology tangent more often, because so far it's rewarded me with gold and diamonds with exactly the things that I was looking for. It was the Guardian. Okay. I will look at your question in just a second, Sheepscalibur, now that I've noticed it's there. But yeah, so it was like, you know, this is the first sentence ever written, and that's not true. It's the first sentence that was written using an alphabet script, but it dates to 1800 BCE. And as any of you who are fans of ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia maybe probably know, those systems were around in about 3400, 3500 BCE, like 1800 years earlier. So it was funny because it's like they, at the end of the article, they're like, there are older writing systems. I was like, you could have put that at the beginning of the article or changed your headline to be a little bit more accurate to what it is. And then there's another article that Dragon was showing me. There's a Pictish symbol stone that was found. Well, it was found in 2019, but they did more excavations around it this year, I believe. And that's really cool. And basically we were looking at two different articles. One is in the Scotsman, which is generally quite good for archaeology. I've worked with them before on digs, and they do a lot to try and represent everything accurately, which is really cool. And the other article wasn't a bad article, but it was a lot more sensationalist than the one in the Scotsman, and talking about how like this symbol stone is an indication that there was a muddy history between the Romans and the Picts. And I was like, the Romans were out of Scotland 400 years before this stone was carved. So like in terms of Roman occupation of Scotland, that it's kind of different. So it's been interesting seeing the differences in how different media sources are portraying archaeology, and some of that is down to the media source, and some of that is down to the archaeologists. And it reminds me of when I was doing my PhD. One of the things you do in the PhD, or at least the main thing you do, is write chapters of your PhD over and over and over and over again. you start writing chapters, and then you don't stop, and you don't stop editing until you submit, like 3 or 4 years later. It's an extensive process. But you submit chapters to your supervisors, and then they look at them and give you points to edit and things like that. And when I was writing my PhD, I would have meetings with one of my supervisors where he would point out, you know, oh, well, you didn't talk about this, so you really needed to mention that. Except that I knew for a fact that I had said it in, you know, like 1 or 2 paragraphs in the same chapter. So I'd be like, okay, but I did. And it took me like longer than it should have, really, to realize that what he meant when he said, oh no, hang on, stop. That what he meant when he said you need to talk about this or you haven't discussed this wasn't so much that I didn't have it in the context, like in the entire text that I had given him. It really meant that I hadn't discussed it enough that he noticed. So it didn't really matter if it was in there. If the reader doesn't notice it or the reader doesn't pay attention to it, then it may as well not be there, you know? So the article about the alphabets, having it buried in the end of like, oh yeah, there are other older writing systems like Egyptian hieroglyphs, that's good, But at the same time, how many people are reading all the way to the end? How many people are recognizing that, like, it's a single sentence or two? How many people are actually paying attention to that one sentence versus the headline of first sentence ever written? So yeah, anyway, I don't know that there's a point to that tangent, but there's a tangent for you. And also, like, if you are a student and you're getting feedback from people, or, well, a student or a writer of any kind, and you're getting feedback, if people are saying you haven't done something that you know you definitely have, it's not that you haven't done it, it's that you haven't done it enough for them to notice, which is I found that to be a very helpful distinction for myself when writing the monstrosity that is my PhD. Archaeology question: is there any rhyme or reason to the ore distribution, or is that just an arbitrary Mojang rolled the dice distribution? Huh. Let me get to that in just a second. I'm realizing there are more. Hang on. Graffiti and things like that just drives home that people have been people since the dawn, and you find it weirdly comforting. Yes, graffiti is great. I love it. It's fantastic. Especially when it's like just nonsensical human stuff. My favorite parts of archaeology are when you look at something and you realize that whoever wrote or did the thing or made the thing that you're looking at was just as human as everybody else has always been, and it's like on such a level, like such a basic level. So like the pieces I was talking about on Tuesday that are like the bits of the silver really thin silver sheets that we get where people have written curses and been like, this person stole my cow and so I hope all of their cows die, and then like folded it up and chucked it into a river. There's an element of that where I'm like, yeah, okay, this is a bit overkill probably, but but it's totally understandable and totally relatable in a lot of different ways. So yeah, humanity is fun. I enjoy it when you look at something like, oh yeah, I found you as you're a human. You're definitely human. Hello. Oh, I'm not looking in a mirror. Are you sure? So, yeah, it's great. If you remember correctly, a lot of the time headlines are written by a different person than the person who writes the article. Oh, that's interesting. I would not be surprised if that were the case. But that is interesting. That's how it worked at the student newspaper you worked at. Either the editor or the professor would write the headlines. That's almost more annoying because then it's like the person who wrote the article, okay, granted, they could have led a little bit better in their article of there being different writing systems, and explained it a little bit more. But I felt like the article did generally explain it if you read the entire article. So the fact that whoever wrote the headline that means whoever wrote the headline didn't get that from the article, which actually is either a sign that they didn't really read the article, which is entirely possible, or it's a sign that the article didn't effectively communicate the fact that this wasn't the first sentence ever written. It's the first sentence ever written with an alphabet. Excuse me. In all honesty, it's probably some combination of the two things, because whenever people are involved, it's never like issues are very rarely ever one person's responsibility, you know? So when it comes to communication, it is a two-way street. So there is an element where it's probably a combination of all those things, which is interesting. If they had a good headline, you didn't change it, but that didn't always happen. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so in terms of ore distribution, that's an excellent question. In terms of like ore veins, ooh, this is something that I am not super well versed in because it is a little bit more geology than it is archaeology in terms of where different metallic ores are found in the earth. The fact that iron ore is found in mountains, like that you can find huge numbers of iron ore just going through the mountain biomes, that, as far as I'm aware, is very much accurate. I would not be surprised if the gold and the iron, or certainly the distribution for those, was accurate. Just because, oh no, I forgot that I did this. Hang on, wait a minute. Do that. Oh right, okay, it's okay. All right. I wouldn't be surprised if those were accurate, only because that. Simply because I know that that they spend a lot of time worrying about that kind of thing. And so I would imagine that it probably is accurate to some degree. Okay. Where can I? Nope. Okay. All right, we're stuck. Never mind. We're not gonna mine in this area anymore. Let's go. Let's see if we could get this way. I feel like there's about to be more. Yep. Okay. I think I'm under a lava lake. Yeah, so I think it's probably accurate, only because I know that they spend a lot of time trying to make things accurate. Copper and iron were not things that people had to necessarily like go mining in deep mines for. On the other hand, it is still something that they did have to go and source. Gold, as you probably know, can be found in mines, but also can be found by panning in rivers in areas where gold can be found, like gold nuggets can be found in rivers. We don't have a mechanic for that in Minecraft, mostly because I think panning for gold would be a difficult mechanic to to figure out in Minecraft's engine, basically, or just the way that Minecraft works. Diamonds are something that do have to be mined from, I believe, from fairly deep down. Emeralds, I don't know. We don't, if I'm honest, I have rarely seen emerald artifacts in Scotland. That doesn't mean they don't exist. Just that I don't know that I've seen emerald much. I tend to see jade a lot. There's a lot of jade. And then we were talking last stream about garnets and carnelians instead of rubies. So yeah, ruby and emerald and sapphires, I don't really see too much of those. And that's not, again, not because they weren't necessarily used. It could be that in the time period that I study, they were a lot harder to get a hold of. We do know that glass, especially glass beads and such, which is my specialty, that glass beads were often used to kind of mimic precious gemstones, or semi-precious gemstones, and also vice versa, that semi-precious gems were also often used to mimic glass. It kind of depended on what they were doing, but there's like rock crystal stuff that's been made that is to mimic glass as well. Yeah, I've never really thought about the lack of ruby and sapphire and emerald objects, really. And I'm curious if that... I really should just have this note in my hotbar, but but I have light in my hotbar. So, well, I mean in my offhand, but it's fine. This is part of when I say I'm clumsy in Minecraft. This is part of what I mean. But that's fine. We'll just head back this way. I'm trying to think about other stuff. Redstone, we were talking about this a little bit on Tuesday as well, that redstone doesn't exist in the real world, obviously. So we were chatting because Tuesday was the medieval Minecraft stream. We were chatting about, in the medieval period, they didn't have electricity, but redstone isn't really electricity. It's just like the Minecraft equivalent. And I feel like if people in the medieval period, if redstone existed in the real world, people in the medieval period would have found it and would have figured out how to use it, I think. Just because people are smart, and that would have been a thing that people did. It just seems like a logical thing. Let's see. Yeah, I believe I found a lava lake too. You imagine it's as accurate as it can be while being balanced. Exactly. Yeah, their main focus when they adjusted everything for 118. I think that's... I agree with that, Clara. I think there's an element where they have to balance the game mechanics as well. But yeah, I think they're trying to be as accurate as they can while also making a game. Which seems to be, that, as far as I can tell, that's what they're doing with a lot of their stuff, which is really, really cool. I like how much they're focusing on making it correspond to the real world for things that do have a real world analog, which is cool. There's a there is a mod called Better Geo by the Geological Survey of Sweden that aims to put more accurate geology into the game and add some educational content, but it's for 1.12. That's really cool. That's really cool. I know that in like Minecraft Education Edition has a lot of stuff that is a lot more educational than vanilla. But I always feel like Education Edition, because it's specifically meant for classrooms and teachers and things, I like seeing how much of vanilla is also kind of mimicking those things. And also how much vanilla doesn't necessarily. Like, I think in Education Edition you have items for each chemical element, for example. And while that's cool, I don't know that I would want to have to navigate that every time I played Minecraft. That makes sense. So I appreciate having the two distinct versions for each of those things. Well, it's more than two distinct versions, but you know what I mean. Okay, let's connect these. Nope. There we go. I shouldn't start a new tunnel in the middle. I shouldn't start a new tunnel in the middle of it. Let's... Which direction can I go? Gosh, this is a long tunnel. Okay. I'm kind of impressed that that I just got that far while rambling and not paying attention. I'm not usually that good at doing things while talking. Oh, that's where the lava... Okay, alright, hang on. Nope. I really should... you know what? Let's go back this way. And then I'll mine in that line back towards the start until I get to the lava lake. Or a different... Until I get to at least one of the lava lakes. Okay, that's not a lava lake, so that's good. Alright, we'll go to... This makes sense in my mind. Let's go to the end of this one. And then we go over to it and we come back down. Yeah, I think that's what will work. I think. Oh, I should eat. Hang on. Wait a minute. I'm working on it. They have some cool stuff in Education Edition. Blackboards for as bigger signs and cameras and such. Yeah, there's so much of me that basically, because I make a lot of educational content with Minecraft, well, because that's basically what I do is make roughly educational content, at least. I end up Googling or like searching to see if certain things are available in Minecraft or something, or you'll do stuff like search a mechanic in vanilla that you end up getting responses for Education Edition, and it's like, this works in Education Edition. I'm like, that's fantastic. That is not what I have. So I've definitely spent a certain number of hours realizing that certain features I would love to be in the game do exist, just in Education Edition. And not in vanilla. But I like how many of the vanilla mechanics they are trying to make, yeah, analogous to real life and kind of in that educational way. I did... So, story time while I'm mining. I used to work on some historical properties in New England, and one of them was a farm from the 1700s, and that was always fun because the farm is like, it was established in 1752, so you could always tell the kids that the farm is older than the United States, and they always thought that was pretty great. And it was an easy way to impress kids. so that was always fun. But when I worked there, we noticed once Minecraft became big, we noticed a serious increase in the amount of knowledge that kids were bringing to the farm solely based off of what they had learned from Minecraft, which was really cool. So like, kids knew that to get wool off a sheep, you needed shears. Except for and it was kind of an impressive example. I had a group of second graders, so about 7 or 8 years old, who I was talking to about how, you know, people made clothes in the 1700s and where you could get, you know, fibers for and things. And so we were talking about where does wool come from? And they're like, oh, it comes from sheep. And I'm like, excellent. How do you get wool off the sheep, right? So say I've got a sheep. What do I do to get wool? And they say, oh, you need shears. I'm like, oh, that's excellent. How did you know that? They're like, Minecraft. I was like, okay. The next day I had some 5th graders. This is probably one of my favorite. I didn't mean to do that so quickly, but oh well. This is probably one of my favorite teaching stories ever. I had a group of 5th graders, and we were doing the same you know, lesson, but obviously aimed at 5th graders instead of 2nd graders. So 5th grade is ages like 10 and 11 ish. So I was talking to them about, you know, where wool comes from. It comes from sheep. Okay, so how do you get the wool off a sheep? And this 11-year-old boy thought for a minute, and then he raised his hand and goes, "Oh, a machete." And I was just like, okay, hang on. Let's walk ourselves through this, because you're right that you need something sharp to cut the wool off the sheep. However, let's just imagine taking a machete and putting it near a sheep. Do you think the sheep is gonna be calm? And I just loved the difference between, and this was like right when Minecraft came out, but it was such a difference between the kids who had been playing a lot of Minecraft and the kids who hadn't been playing a lot of Minecraft, that the kids who had played a lot of Minecraft definitely knew that it was shears that you needed to, well, I don't know if wool was in the original, like the original bits of, but whenever getting wool off sheep was a thing in Minecraft, I'm pretty sure that was from the beginning, because you needed it for a bed. But anyway, there was a very clear difference between the kids who had played Minecraft and the kids who hadn't played Minecraft, which is great. Another friend of mine, a friend of mine worked in school systems as well. Well, she still works in school systems, and shared a story where they were doing a lesson as well, like a visiting kind of lesson for like, again, 7-year-olds, I think. And they were asking what sort of animals come out at night. And one of the kids said, a zombie. And they're like, oh, I don't think it really matters if it's nighttime for a zombie to come out. And they had kind of mentioned this to us. I was like, oh, I bet you that kid plays Minecraft, because at night the zombies come out. And they were like, oh, that makes so much more sense. So yeah, kids bring their Minecraft knowledge into education systems, and it's really kind of great. No, not the machete. Shears have been in the game since beta. Okay, I thought it was pretty early on, but yeah, it's a machete. I also, another fun kid-based learning element, which you might not know if you've never had to teach them this particular topic, is if you're talking about candles. Oh, I hear lava. But anyway, if you're talking about candles and making candles and what kinds of wax you can make candles out of, if you ask the question, where do you think the wax came from? Like, what kind of wax is it? The most common answer is earwax. And not only is that both fantastically close to correct, like, you see where their brains went to get that answer, but it's also so fantastically wrong. I really enjoyed walking the kids through that answer. So I'd be like, what kind of wax? And somebody inevitably would go, earwax. And I'm like, okay, I see. It's a good, oh, there's an ad break. I'll wait until people with ads are back for this story, because it's hilarious. It's kind of great. This is another of my favorite teaching moment stories. Kids are fun. Kids add a lot of entertainment to teaching. Also, I love how I found some gold and diamonds pretty early, and then I've gotten redstone. I haven't really gotten much else since. I guess I got some lapis. But I want more. I mean, this is enough to do the thing in the room, in the little room that I want. So that's fine. But I'm gonna keep mining, because I need to get back to the beginning anyway. and because it's fun and gross and back. Okay, so yeah, children inevitably will, if you ask them what kind of wax candles are made out of, they will always, somebody will always offer earwax as like the first answer, easily the first answer. And it's fantastic and I love it. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Hang on. Do that. And so what I liked to do is praise them for where their brain went, like, because you can see the logic and it's a good thought. It just arrived at the wrong answer. And the thing about kids, especially if they're on a field trip, which is whenever that's what I was teaching most of the time, was field trips. If this is gonna, hang on. There we go. I like tough. I like tough better than deep slate, and I have plenty of deep slate apparently. So if a kid is on a field trip, right, you don't want them to feel bad about themselves at like 9 a.m. on a field trip day. That's just like not if they don't have to, you know. Ooh, diamonds. Okay, all right. I'm glad that as soon as I complained about not finding more diamonds, the game was like, fine, I guess you can have more diamonds. So the earwax thing was always fun. It also meant that I got major props from parents because they thought it was hilarious, especially the dads. They loved that I would do this. So I'd be like, okay, let's walk through the thought process. Okay, so I see where your brain is going, but let's actually think about making a candle out of earwax. And then of course the giggles would start and you're like, okay, so think about how much earwax each person has. It's not a lot of earwax, right? So you're telling me that you want to like get the earwax and you want to save it for until you have enough earwax to make a candle, right? Or you need enough earwax from different people. Oh, that doesn't sound like a good idea. And of course, by then all of the ews are happening. And you go, and then I would say, and then you're telling me you want to mold it into a candle with your hands? How do you, like, I mean, how else would you do that? And then of course there's more ews. And then I would often giggle and say, and now you're telling me you want to light that on fire. And by that point, the kids are like, no, 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 no. And they see immediately how an earwax candle is not a good idea. But yeah, it would get the kids laughing and it would get the parents laughing, and especially any parent chaperones who are not like teachers. It would get the teachers laughing too, but the teachers are used to those kind of shenanigans with kids that age. Whereas parents who, you know, maybe are taking a day off from their office job to lead a field trip kind of situation, it was always nice to give them a little bit of hilarity to think about making earwax candles. And then eventually somebody would do beeswax, but that was another thing. Once 116 came out, not 16, 115 came out, we had an increase in children who understood that candles could be made out of beeswax. So like from then on, the earwax answer rarely ever was first. Beeswax was usually first. And then if I said, okay, what other ways can we get wax? Then earwax would happen. So Minecraft has a huge influence on children's knowledge of the real world. Anyway, that's yeah, fun and gross, only in the mind of a child. Oh man, okay, one more teaching story. Uh-oh. Okay. That might be the other side of that lava lake that that I've been skirting. Oh, let's not do that. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah. So the last one I'll say, which is also very cute and also chaotically childlike. There was because we worked on a farm. Or we were a farm and I was taking kids around the farm, a lot of the time we got younger students, so like first grade or lower, so like between ages like 3 and 6 depending. And I think this was like a first grade class, so they were about 5 years old, some of them might have been 6, and we had just gone and seen some chickens. And this is in Rhode Island, which is where I'm from originally. And so we were looking at Rhode Island red chickens because that's the state bird, and we had them on the farm. They're very pretty. And so, you know, we talked all about the chickens. And then I was like, okay, so now we're going to go and look at some other animals. And I want to see if you can tell me what they are, because these are, you know, 5 and 6-year-olds. So, okay, we've already talked about chickens. We're about to go see more chickens, basically. But instead of telling them we were seeing more chickens, I was like, okay, let's see if you guys can tell me that these are chickens. And the other type of chicken are called Dominique chickens. And if you've ever seen, I think Barred Rock chickens are very similar. They're basically chickens, instead of the Rhode Island Reds, which are chickens that have very deep red feathers, reddish orangey feathers, and the roosters have like the green tails. The Dominique chickens are kind of like mottled white and black. Like if you think of diorite, like raw diorite in Minecraft, if you think about that on a chicken, that's basically what Dominique chickens look like. So it's very different coloration, but they're I mean, they're both chickens. So we go over to these black and white chickens, and this 5-year-old little boy points at them and he goes, "Look, Miss Heather, a giraffe." And you can't, it's, oh, that one, because I try not to be like, no, you're wrong, because again, you don't want to discourage kids on a field trip day. But he pointed at a black and white chicken and said, "Look, a giraffe." And there's really nothing correct about that. And so I was like, oh, I can see why you might think that, because giraffes have spots and these guys have spots, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, but giraffes, I don't know if you've seen them in real life, but they're super tall. Like really as tall as a tree, kind of tall. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. So his mind was blown at how big giraffes were. But yeah, I frequently remember the time where a 5-year-old little boy pointed at a chicken that's like this size and said, "Look, a giraffe." It was pretty great. And it was black and white, so it's like, oh man, if this were just a zebra, then I could at least... Actually, I should take some of this up as well. I could at least... can tell I've been playing modded because I just clicked and dragged, and that is not a thing you can do in this. But yeah, I was like, oh, I wish I had just... I wish he had said zebra, and then I could be like, oh yeah, because they're the same color. But no, it was a giraffe. I was like, oh dear, okay, a giraffe. We'll go with giraffe. Giraffe works. So, yeah, that's that's one of my other teaching stories. Okay, I think we are at a point where I usually end the stream. And I think I will today end stream on time. I know I haven't been doing that recently. I've been going over, but I need to phone a pharmacy about a prescription, and I need to do that before they close. And they're a little bit of a different pharmacy where they close a little bit early. So, so I think what I'm gonna do is head back up. But we did get enough, and we didn't just finish with 5 Diamond Ore, we finished with 14 Diamond Ore, so that's great. Well, it's Deep Slate Diamond Ore, but still. So that's pretty great. Diamond Ore, like regular Diamond Ore, is one of the rarest blocks in the game now, just because it tends not to generate at the levels where stone is. And the same is true, well, in the opposite direction, the same is true for Deep Slate Emerald Ore, which is the rarest. I think Deep Slate Emerald Ore is the rarest ore in the game, and then regular Diamond Ore is like the next rarest, I believe. So we don't have any of those, but that's fine. Deep Slate works. I'm happy with Deep Slate. And maybe what I'll do is, maybe I will leave some of the netherrack so that I can do this. I suppose I can then take the netherrack. That's fine. It's all fine. It's light out. It's good. Eventually there'll be an elevator here and it'll be cool. I have plans for an elevator, but I spent like 3 hours this morning trying to get it to work. And the thing is that, so I want an elevator, but I don't want a simple elevator design. I want it to be able to like raise and lower a complicated platform kind of design. And I've almost gotten it to work, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily want to work. So, yeah, so that's why I haven't necessarily, oh no, wait, sorry, I can do this. Let's put this away, ish. That's That's why I don't have the elevator yet, or I don't have plans for an elevator. It's in the works. I'm working on it. But I think we could probably at least put the ores in this room. If I have deep slate, I don't need your building wizard fortress out of the stuff. Ah, that's very true. Okay, I will keep that in mind, Clara, because I do have... I thought I needed... Like, because up here I didn't have much. I was definitely running out because of this build. And then I just discovered I have, like, almost an entire double chest full of deep slate down in my mind that I just wasn't paying enough attention to. So yeah, so we'll do that for the iron. Let's grab this for a second. So I do just need... Well, it's 3 different ones, isn't it? So I think what we'll do is maybe take these, and then if I take this, and I do for the lapis, hang on. If I do that, that works, right? Then I can probably do gold here, and then diamond, and then emerald, right? Let's do gold. I like having the little... I'll probably put one there. I like having the little piles of them with a little chest. The downside is that this chest is in the way. So yeah, it'll be fine. That's fine. It's, yeah, it works. And then we'll do diamond. I could leave that one out and just leave it as a... But I also feel like that's slightly cheating the system. So I could even make the diamond one slightly bigger, but I won't. I won't make the diamond one bigger because I do need space for emerald. Or let's do... You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this one emerald. There we go. I do like this with the shaders. I've never used a shader pack that has the ores glow like this. Oh, see, that looks really cool. With all the ores just glowing. I really like that. I like shader packs that make the ores glow. A, because they're so much easier to see underground. And B, because they just look so pretty. So I've often used... oh, no, hang on. Wrong button. I've often used Silder's. At least the light version of Silder's vibrant shaders, because they look really nice on like the archaeological builds that I do. But then Pixel Riffs was using complementary, so when we were doing Petra, it turns out that shaders have the sun go off, like instead of having the sun go directly overhead, they have them go at an angle, like it does for the majority of the world. Except different shaders will have the sun go either to the north or to the south. And so we realized where we were building Petra, complementary shaders, and I don't remember which angle it was, but complementary shaders, the angle of the sun shone onto Petra, but Silder's shaders, it went right behind Petra, so it didn't actually help you see it at all. So then I downloaded complementary so that I could make the Petra video with those shaders as well. And then, you know, I realized that they look super nice and that they make the ores glow. So that's now the shaders that I use, really, predominantly most of the time. They're cool. I like them a lot. I will get, you know what, this build is so close to being done. Let's just finish it before... Oh, let's also sleep. I love how I was conscious that it was getting towards nighttime and I should sleep, and then I went off on a tangent and I forgot to sleep. It does look cool, yeah. Let me finish that build super quick. I do need a chest. I need a couple more chests. There we go. I have chests all over the place. I do still want to have my double chest of build materials, but it doesn't need to live in the ore area. It can just live maybe here. Let's do this and this, that and that, and these. Oh, right, it's only 2. I thought that was netherrack 2 because I was looking at it out of the corner of my eye. Whoops. Let's do this. It's gonna... and then... grab these. I know that I could just take I could just break the chest, but at the same time, Actually, I probably should. I wasn't doing it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose track of what's actually in my inventory and what isn't. Here, let's just use 3 for a hot second. And then we do, let's see, a little chest there. Put that one there? Do I like that going up into the... I mean, the copper does. I kind of like the idea of going up into those areas. Like an emerald one there. Yeah, okay. Emeralds. Diamond. This gold. And we've got lapis. This is also because I end up with so much of these... Oh, there's more redstone. And more lapis. Whoops. I end up with so many ores, especially copper ore. Like, I have so much copper ore, and I have so much copper. I really don't need more copper ore. There's plenty of copper ore. I do know that I'm gonna get another gold out, but let's do this first. Oh, I probably should keep my shield, shouldn't I? Also, this needs to go in one of those. Also, I'm not sure everything is gonna fit in there. But that's fine. It'll be fine. Everything is fine. Let's see. You know what? Let's just do another 2 chests. Probably should have blocks on me, in all honesty. Excuse me, instead of just, like, constantly going places with no blocks to build with. Okay, I do need gold. 1 more gold. I think right there. Oh, I like the idea of the ores being on the ground. And I kind of wonder if I do this. Is that too odd? If I do, I'm now just I'm now just messing around with this. But I like the ores being like prominent in the room, because that's the whole point, in a way. And I like them being in the floor. Let's do a couple, especially the deep slate ones in the floor. Okay, I'm gonna do this. And then I promise I'm gonna go and phone the pharmacy. Because they won't be open for hugely much longer. But yeah, okay. Let's do 1 iron over here. Maybe. Okay, cool. Do we have more coal? Or I do. Let me do a couple of these. I was debating putting one there, but I'm not sure. And then I was debating putting one there, but I'm also not sure. Let's see. Yeah, that works. All right. Okay, cool. I probably do need to actually put some torches places because ores, while they do semi light up the space, they also don't necessarily. I mean, the glowstone is designed to be able to light up most of this space, but I also don't want to risk it because nobody wants creepers in your ore collection room. So cool. So the ore room is done. That's 3 rooms done. The ore room, and then the stone generators, and then the smelter. I need to, actually, I should probably get rid of the smelter sign, because it's kind of obvious what it is. And yeah, I can put those down, and I think what we'll do... Oh, hang on. Let me take this off so you can see my face. I think what we'll do is probably end the stream there. thank you all for tuning in. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I'll see you all on, well, either in the Discord or on Twitter, or on stream on Tuesday. Bye.